Manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, John Ferguson. We welcome you. You'll also be with us next week. I want to get right to it because I have a bunch of questions for you and, as always, not enough time. If you were still the general manager of the Leafs, would the for sale sign be out? Would everybody be available, including Sundin?
Well, you take direction from your team and how your team is doing during the year. And when you're hovering around in and out of the playoffs and now number of points back, you know you've got to recognize the opportunity and make a move. I was preparing and making calls for 6 to 8 weeks before January 22nd when I was let go, and those discussions were well underway. So you had to have that plan in place, and we did.
But right now, the for sale sign would be out?
Sure.
All right. And what would you think Sundin would fetch?
Oh, I think you've got to look at any number of the elite moves over the last few years, and you go back to last year in Forsberg, who missed a great deal of time, and it amounted to 3 firsts in Upshaw and Parent.
You think you get that now, like 3 firsts?
Oh, I think it's out there. I think that's out there. There are a number of teams. I do want to say one thing about Matz. I mean, he is by far and away the best captain I've ever been around. He is an ultimate competitor, and he is far and away, if he's available and wants to be, he's as good as there is. When
you were still the general manager, who were you getting the most calls about?
Well, I mean, it won't surprise you to know Matz. I mean, they want to know about Matz, Caberlet, for sure. Darcy, Tucker, a great deal of interest still, and less so McCabe, a couple of others.
You were getting interest in McCabe even with that contract?
Oh, sure. His numbers, his durability, and that figure, and you look at the market over the last couple of years especially, absolutely.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
No, I don't. Those deals were made. It's a part of the basis of the bargain, and you look at players of that ilk in the free agent market. They were getting it in Toronto, or they were getting it somewhere else.
I know you have a roster in front of you. Would you have a list of untouchables that if teams called about, you would definitely say no to?
Yeah, and you never say never. Everyone has a price at some point, but you look at the top players. Caberlet, you can't replace at that number for the number of years. Toskala, Steen, Stroman, Kuhlman, Talusti, Pogge, those players comprise a real good nucleus. And I'm leaving out some of the other good young players that might have to go into a deal and take back some more prospects, some youth, and refortify.
But those 6 or 7 that you mentioned would be the only guys that you would say no chance to?
You never say never, as I said, but that group would be wise to stick around.
You say that the for sale sign would be up. How frustrating is it that you are not going to get that chance to redo your club?
Well, I got a chance, some weeks ago to discuss that, and clearly this is an opportunity that this organization hasn't had in some time. The organization, I believe, does recognize the opportunity. It would have been great to see it through. Cliff's been around a long time, and he knows what he's doing.
Well, listen, we appreciate you joining us. You'll be back again next week, and get ready for a long day on February 26th. John Ferguson, the former general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, his former team still scoreless with the Buffalo Sabres, thanks in large part to Vesa Toskala and Ryan Miller at the other end. The third period's just ahead on TSN.